Have there been in situations like those where you haven't said what you thought to say?
My gut feeling would tell me it's not going well. But sometimes for fear of what will become of my career, I'm just new. Maybe I haven't learned the jig. Maybe I'm overthinking, And sometimes you ask yourself, is it possible to be 1 against like 30 in the room? If you don't voice it, a lot more is lost. What does it cost to be silent? I may not be the one suffering, but a bigger population suffers from just that silent voice. We're running a whole program for 5 years that is so misaligned with the community. And when you read the reports, they're all looking good. When you go to the ground and talk to the beneficiaries, it's totally different. I imagine how many millions of dollars were spent. And the beneficiaries didn't gain anything. There was like moments of silence in that room. And I talked on and I felt alone. No one was backing me up. So sometimes you have to be ready to walk that journey, knowing that you won't be popular. If we don't bring the context to life, then we design strategies that cannot be implemented locally, like peace. And sometimes I would do anything for peace. But I realize that's not a good thing. It also can be a weakness. It's good I'm a peacemaker, but it's also a weakness in such times where, you make peace at whose cost? Disagreeing doesn't mean disrespect.
Welcome on set, Beatrice. Beatrice Gishoi is the current country lead for Kenya for Challenge Fund for Youth Employment, a multi-country, multi-donor development program. And Beatrice, you've had a very illustrious career of over 20 years, experience in different sectors, in banking, in finance, in microfinance as well, now in development. I'm thinking throughout your career, you must have been in many different rooms. And maybe there are rooms where you have been in and you've wanted to say something because perhaps you've thought the way things are going, they're not going very well. Or there's something that other people in the room don't know. Have there been in situations like those where you haven't said what you thought to say at the time?
Thank you, Rose. Definitely. I've been in many different rooms. And for sure, earlier in my career, I sat in rooms and my gut feeling would tell me it's not going well. But sometimes for fear of what will become of my career, I'm just new. Maybe I haven't learned the jig. Maybe I'm overthinking, And sometimes you ask yourself, is it possible to be 1 against like 30 in the room? So you tend to blend in. Yes.
And I'm thinking, as you said, you want to blend in. But maybe that comes from somewhere, As I've talked to many leaders, I keep hearing, leaders talk about wanting to fit in, like you said, or overthinking, or feeling like you're not ready for the room. Where do you think this feeling comes from?
When I look back, I think much of it is from my upbringing. My dad was a teacher, and when he came in, all he wanted to see is results, You couldn't explain anything. And so I think then I grew up knowing you flow in, You have to be politically correct. You have to please whoever is, checking it out. And if it doesn't cause trouble, it's good to go. Yeah, and so long as there's no pain that you can pick, then you tend to say, it's okay. Maybe there'll be a next time.
And it won't hurt anyone.
It doesn't hurt anyone.
I think it mostly comes from that, like we are programmed without knowing that we are being programmed.
Yeah.
Because as you're growing up, you are learning when you are very impressionable.
Yeah.
That when dad comes in, no questions asked. You blend in, you disappear into the crowd. Yeah. And your opinion might not matter. Yeah. And I think that is what we end up showing in the boardroom with, that you're thinking, perhaps your opinion doesn't matter. But sometimes I also think, and I don't know whether it's been your experience, that you want, you see people that tend to listen to a lot more opinions viewed as collaborative. So sometimes you're seated in that room and you're thinking, I need to listen to more people so that I'm a collaborative leader or a collaborative manager. Do you think so?
It is so, because especially like in the development sector, we have always tended to believe that if you're not the one funding, then you better flow with the funder, you know? And of course, their objectives matter and their goals, but more often than not, then we miss out to bring out the context, our experience that could be very much important in the decision making. And if for sure we are looking for impact, then our voices matter. And one of the things I have learned is to take that bold step of knowing that you're not going to be popular, because sometimes when you challenge that, it's like moving into enchanted waters, you know? And for some reason, people look at you and wonder, do you realize who is, who is buttering this cake, and who is in the room? But I have learned now with time that if you don't voice it, a lot more is lost, If we have to think about the good for the bigger population, then we must raise the voice. And sometimes it depends on how you put it across. It doesn't have to be disrespectful. It can just be challenging what people are saying and requesting for, why don't we look at it from this angle? Maybe it could be different. Yeah.
I totally love that, because also, especially in development, it doesn't mean the fact that a funder is funding a program doesn't mean that they're the ones who know how that program should be designed, And I'm wondering, because you had said that as you began your career and as you are growing, you found it difficult to state those positions. At what point did that change for you? At what point did you start thinking about that cost that you've talked about of keeping quiet?
When I look way back, many years, I would say that I've had points of reflection, where I sit and look back and notice that if I had said this, because something in me would tell me, just say it, we would have saved something. A situation would have been saved. I remember a program we implemented in northern Kenya. And I kept having this conflict in me that, what are we doing? I don't think we are doing the right thing. But I was never able to raise it. Every time I read the reports, I told myself, it's wrong. It can't be. We can't do this, But I never was able to raise it. I think I would say this has come with time, time. Experience, learning how to be diplomatic. I wasn't born diplomatic. I have learned with time, maybe being in different spaces, sometimes getting a mentor who, taught me how do you go around this? Because if really impact is to be achieved, then we must be ready to have difficult conversations. And many times you want to save your face, you're not the one who rattled the snake, Yeah, but I think it has come with time. And I have also evaluated a lot what does it cost to be silent? You know, I may not be the one suffering, but a bigger population suffers from just that silent voice. So with time, I've realized that, again, sometimes people want someone who can challenge. You know, I mean, I have found spaces where people were not just happy by people who agree. Because then, I mean, imagine if you're in this boardroom where nobody critiques anything, like, why are we there? You get? So I think we need to bring these different voices. And I've realized that people appreciate it, depending on how you put it. And also when you, for example, challenge a decision, then you have to be ready to also show the value that you're bringing together with it. Yes. Yeah, you don't just keep quiet and expect somebody else to, run with it. Many times then you have to be ready to run with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like what you say, that there's a cost, to every silence, there's a cost. And the cost could be a child missing out on education. It could be a youth missing out on a job. What are some other costs that you have seen throughout your work? Costs of leaders being silent, or people in position being silent?
Some of the ones that I have seen is, for example, running a whole program for 5 years that is so misaligned with the community. And when you read the reports, they're all looking good. When you go to the ground and talk to the beneficiaries, it's totally different. And more often than not, I have an example of an agriculture project that we did in Isiolo, Marsabit, Wajir, the 5 Asal counties. And when you read the report, it would show how everybody has benefited from, now agriculture is, it's thriving, we have irrigated agriculture. But when you go down there, people are still hungry. There's not enough water still. And sometimes you wonder, who are we talking about, And when I think that maybe we had relooked at the design and, consulted the community more, involved the community more, would have had better results. So I imagine how many millions of dollars were spent, and the beneficiaries didn't gain anything. So for me, it's a waste of time, even professionals' time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of taxpayers who have funded this project.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's taking advantage of the community, Yeah, and so that affects future programming. Because when you come back to that community, they are very skeptical because of their experience in the past. Yeah, so
they lost trust.
Yeah, we have already lost trust. Yes.
You remind me about a story that I read about, and I think this story is told often, about a community in Kenya somewhere where this development organization went and did a well. You must have heard that story. You have? So they dug a well, they dug a borehole. And the reason why they were doing the well was because they noticed that women were traveling very far distances to go and fetch drinking water. And in the process, they would get injuries, they would get, attacked by animals, they would get unwell, and also just their nutrition was not the best. So they decided to intervene. They would dig a borehole. So they dug a borehole, made a lot of noise about it, launched it, and they went away very happy that, this community, these women, the indicators were going to start looking better, indicators on violence against women, indicators on nutrition, on even, rapes and things like those. But then the indicators did not change. And the well was not being used. And it was just sitting there beautifully. And they went back and asked themselves the question, what happened? Why are you not using this borehole? And the women said that the only time they get to socialize is when they are going to the river to fetch water. So they are not going to give that up for anything, you know? So right there, there was a missed opportunity. And somebody must have known something, but they chose not to speak because there must have been local leaders from the environment or from that locality that might have known that that's a cultural expectation, but they didn't speak. So to your point, that there's always a cost in being, in not voicing what we are thinking. But if I would ask about what you had said earlier about that voice in you, because I also believe that each one of us comes equipped with a compass for life, which is that inner voice that tells you, that intuition that tells you things might not be going okay, Earlier on, we were talking about how we learn to silence that voice, and some of it might be because of growing up experiences. But you said as you went on in your career and as you were growing in your career, you got to a point where you learned to just speak up. You learned to not silence yourself. If you were to speak to a lady, a girl who is maybe 20 years, 25, 30, starting on earlier on in their career, and they're having these moments where they go into meeting rooms and they're like, oh, that will not work. That will not work. But they are not saying it. What would you tell them about the journey that got you to the point where you found yourself speaking?
One, I started small. Sometimes you think about the big decisions in the boardroom, but there are many small decisions that you make every day, in your home, even with friends, just rising up and challenging, a cause that people are chatting.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to begin in the boardroom. You can start with your small decisions that you make every day, and then you grow. When you conquer one, you always feel, oh, I can move to the next.
Yeah.
And I remember when I worked in my first job in Kenya Women Finance, I was moved to Kilifi. Kilifi was among the poorest districts in Kenya. I don't know whether it's still the poorest. I think it's grown now. I don't know. I'm sure things have changed a lot. And when I looked at the program, then I challenged a few things that I thought were not going right. And I remember sitting in this room where we were like 40 of us. And I was only 6 months into the job. And the questions that were coming to me are like, you don't have experience. Yeah. Like, where are your facts for you to challenge such a decision? Because they had decided to close the branch. But I thought it had potential. And I also thought it's a branch where they would have a lot of impact given the levels of the economy, how women are taken advantage of in cost. And this was a women-focused credit organization. So I thought we still stood a chance if we relooked at it. And I remember there was like moments of silence in that room. And I talked on and I felt alone. No one was
backing
me up. So, and I walked that journey alone for some months because people didn't believe in it. And I was given the chance, like, okay, you run with it. You think it can work? Run with it. And I said, I'll take the challenge. I'm going to give it a try. And it was very lonely for me, because I kept thinking, how come nobody can see what I can see?
Yeah.
And it's only when results started coming in that people thought, oh, you had a point, So sometimes you have to be ready to walk that journey, knowing that you won't be popular, and the louder voices are saying no to you.
Yeah.
But you have to chart it forward. And if it's possible to back it up with some data as you go along, then it's kind of evidence is there. It helps to back you up. So when I started getting results, and I said, if this can work, I am sure we can expand it to the bigger region. So then I had all the support that I needed. But the initial steps, really needed me to just, my core needed to work, you know. Yeah, because you believe in it, you're alone, and you're going to prove that whatever you were thinking or whatever you put across can work. So you have to be ready to walk that journey. Sometimes when nobody believes in you. Yes. So you must have that inner courage to say, you know what, I'm going to push it forward.
And now I'm invested in that story. How did that turn out?
It really turned out very, very well. It's a story I'm sure is still in their books today because they kept wondering, what did you do with this, you know? And when I took it up, the branch was not sustainable. You know? That's why they needed to close it, or rather they had contemplated closing it. But after 2 years of work, it was fully sustainable. Yes. And I remember there were so many lessons to borrow, you know, to take from other regions and all that. And I only did a lot of consultation from the ground, you know. Yeah, listening to those women and wondering where are things going wrong. And yeah, it worked. Yeah.
Amazing, and kudos to you.
Thank you very much.
And I'm thinking that is a reflection on what you had said earlier, that start with small, you know, micro steps, you know, start speaking up in micro steps. And as you're speaking up and as you're finding out that what you thought was actually true, it gives you more confidence. So I guess that gave you confidence to speak about even country programs or multi-country programs. And I know some time back you did talk about the place of development and how development programs are designed and how Africans should be ready to chart their own development path. And that's not a very popular thing to say. That's really speaking truth to power. How did you get there, you know, to the point where you're confident to speak truth to power?
I would say my first experience that I have just talked about really made me know that you have something, you know, like don't shut your voice because if you don't, then you lose the opportunity to start off, you know, because you must start somewhere. So when I came into the development sector, I noted that more often than not, we don't challenge. Of course, most of the development projects or programs are funded by, you know, the West.
Yeah.
And they have what they have in mind, what they think about our countries or what they know, a bit of what they know. But if we don't bring the context to life, then we design strategies that cannot be implemented locally. And so I really appreciate that first of all, maybe most of the funders or the development partner who backed us up was really ready to iterate and to listen to the context and to the ground because they were interested in impact. So I think that was very healthy and helpful in this decision. But just challenging, it requires really for you to be bold and to decide that, you know, things are not going to go wrong when you're there. You know, like, please voice it. At least you said it, you know. And I have seen the change, you know, and what that means in terms of realizing impact, you know. I would say, for example, in CFYE, we had some technical assistant program that was supporting the implementing partners. And it was designed to work in a certain way that we needed to engage, for example, a TA expert for at least a minimum of 3 months. But when you go to the ground, the partner said, we don't need this much support. We only need support for a month. And challenging that sometimes becomes just a big deal. And I'm like, why are we wasting resources? Because if we have resources for 3 months, we could offer this for multiple partners. Why do we have to insist to offer it to one partner? You know, and just challenging that thinking. It's okay, we have the expertise, but can we utilize that?
That's an important point, but I want you to unpack what is CFYE and what is TA to those that are not familiar.
Right. CFYE CFYE is an acronym for the Challenge Fund for Youth Employment. So just like the name, it supports youth employment in Africa and the MENA region. Yeah, so it's a program that's funded by the Dutch government with the goal of supporting decent youth employment opportunities, working with private sector organizations. So TA is a technical assistance. And through this program, we learned that it's not just enough to give grant funds to the private sector organizations. They have, more often than not, they have gaps that hinder them from achieving, the program goals. So then CFYE became a partner to the implementing partners and worked with them in terms of supporting them now through the TA or the technical assistance to bridge such gaps so that then project goals are realized.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that Challenge Fund for Youth Employment, or CFYE, provides grants to local companies, local businesses, to enable them to reach their business goals faster so that they can employ more youth.
Yes.
So that it increases the number of youth that are in employment, right?
Yes.
And technical assistance is the support that you provide these businesses so that you can plug in the gaps that they are experiencing that are preventing them from employing more youth.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is that those businesses and those enterprises often say there's some technical support like training that they don't need. They don't feel they need.
Yes.
I think that is a comment that I've heard commonly, especially enterprises in Kenya and Africa generally, saying that, we have been overtrained. If there's such a thing.
Yes.
We have been over-mentored,
Yeah.
overtrained.
Yeah.
Because then we have these development programs that are brought with the thought that training is the fix.
Exactly. Yeah.
But when you're in a position like that, like you are, then you can question that model and you can question the ability to include the voices of the beneficiaries, right?
Yeah.
So when you're a country lead, I think it's a lot easier to be able to voice your opinion. In my experience, when I was starting out in my career, it was harder for me to speak in rooms, to give my opinion in rooms where decisions were being made. But as I grew more and got into more senior positions, I found it a lot easier. And maybe it comes from practice, like you were saying earlier, that the more such moments you have, the easier it is for you. But for your case, was that always the case? And I think you did say as we began talking that it was the micro steps. Yeah. If you find yourself not in, maybe in middle level management, and you're voicing your opinion and you're constantly turned down, every time you're voicing what you feel deep down should be said, you're being shut down or you're not being supported and you're feeling discouraged. What would you say to such a person?
I would say that you have to keep doing it because no one said that this journey will be easier. It's I would say, like one writer said, that when you decide on a course, the forces of the universe tend to unite themselves and give you a push. So the thing is not to avoid, I think is finding, how do I say it? Sometimes the language that you use, you don't have to be disrespectful, Disagreeing doesn't mean disrespect. It's just airing what you think could bring a change. So I think the thing is you have to start, because if you don't, you'll never start.
Yeah.
So getting that courage is very important. Sometimes getting a mentor, who is experienced, can walk you that journey, where you can find, if you have a mentor, sometimes they tend to give you, take you through their experience, what they have gone through, and how they've been able to navigate. So mentorship is very good when you're walking that leadership journey and you want to go to higher places. Yeah, that's
I agree. I agree. And listening to podcasts like this and many others that talk about the subject. Do you think this could be stemming from a place of avoidance of conflict? I think the way we are wired, especially as women, is to avoid conflict and avoid ruffling feathers, and avoid looking like you're the know-it-all. Do you think that could be?
I think that is very, very true. If I think about myself personally, the natural personality of me is a peacemaker. So I like peace. And sometimes I would do anything for peace. But I realize that's not a good thing. It also can be a weakness. It's good I'm a peacemaker, but it's also a weakness in such times where, you make peace at whose cost?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, I agree. It comes from avoiding conflict, but we must challenge that because, it's not always when we really need the peace. Sometimes we don't need the peace. If peace is going to lead us to, the wrong way, then we don't need the peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what you're saying describes a phlegmatic personality, peace at all costs, and like you said, we have to count the cost. I think to an earlier point that you made, that the cost is not just to you. It's to missed opportunities. It's to people that are missing out on, intelligence that God gave you that you're not applying yourself to. And it's to, if it's a development program, it's all those people that are missing out because you failed to speak. It's all those women that could have benefited from investment in a worthy, not worthy, maybe worthy is not the right word, but investment in a cause that they would have found useful as compared to a borehole, right? And I think it's to the point that you're saying that if you find yourself in that position, then remember it's not just you. You are representing many others. You talked about mentorship, and I think mentorship is critical in seeing how people have navigated, like seeing that you've navigated this space and now you're at a point where you can question the status quo. What about the place of coaching? What about the place of training? What about the place of association? Is there anything else somebody can do to be able to speak up more, speak up better?
Yeah, other than, of course, mentorship, as you mentioned, coaching is also very, very, very important. Training, reading, there are very many books. There are writers who have expressed themselves and they have many lessons. So reading is also very, very good because I must say that some of the books that I have read, like there's a book called Grit, and it talks about the power of passion and perseverance. It taught me, and it has always reminded me that leaders are not born. You can work at it. Talent is good and it could be natural, but there's also the place of passion and perseverance where you work at something until you become good at it.
Yeah.
So all those are options. Reading, I really say reading gives you an opportunity to interact with people that you will never meet in this life. But through their writing, you get to learn from them. So they kind of teach you when they're not there with you. So
and they challenge you as well.
Exactly.
And to maybe 1,000 bob or 1,500 Kenya shillings, you can be able to sit with somebody that you'd never afford to be coached by because maybe they're very expensive, maybe they're not reachable, maybe they're in a different geographic area, but you can reach them through their books.
Very true.
Yeah, I have found that also very helpful. What about the place of networks and associations?
That's very, very key. Actually, in today's world, I think networking is so very, very important because you get to interact with leaders, you shrug shoulders with, people, maybe who you think can inspire you. And I have learned that sometimes, there are people you'll never meet in life, but because you manage to be in a room with them, you get to talk to them. For example, if an ambassador, I would never have a chance to meet the ambassador in a normal life. But because I got a chance to be in a forum with him, I sit one-on-one with him. And I'm able to challenge and to question and to ask, I can ask questions that I would never ask otherwise. So networking sessions are very important. And I think today more than ever, these are available, whether they are paid up opportunities or maybe through the work we do, we have very many opportunities to network and to learn from, such leaders. Yeah.
Okay. I think as we conclude, there's a point that you made about leadership, and that leadership is not about just being born a leader. You can be born a leader, you can be made a leader, you can learn, and you can train yourself into leadership. So I think that is freeing for somebody that keeps thinking that I see these people that are so confident. I see these people that speak all the time. And, especially for introverts, it's a lot harder for introverts to voice their opinions than it is for extroverts. And there tends to be this thought that looking at people that are very extroverted and that express their opinions without, thinking twice, that's leadership. So I like that you say that you can train yourself to be a leader. How have you found yourself knowing you and knowing that you're an introvert? How have you been able to, working with your personality, to be able to confidently show up and speak up in rooms where you've needed to? Have you had to push yourself to be different, or have you just embraced who you are and taken the power of who you are to the next level?
That has not been an easy journey for me. As you put it, I'm a real introvert, And I recall many instances when, even in class, I would never answer questions. And I knew them, and I remember the teacher would say, I always wait for him to call me out. And he knows I know the answer, But I didn't find myself strong enough to want to talk. I knew the answer, and I was a good student, a sharp student, but I never wanted to talk. So that has never been my space of wanting to be conspicuous. It's taken me to train myself a lot. And maybe I've also been lucky to work with supervisors who pulled me out. Somebody who noted that there's something great in you, and I'm going to push you to the limit. So I really appreciate one of my bosses who kept saying, I know what you're made of, and I'm not going to let you sit with it. So he pushed me to the core, pulling me out to speak when I thought I shouldn't speak, giving me opportunities to train, and I never thought I can train, like that. So I started realizing that for sure I can impact people. I don't have to sit with what I know inside me. But it's been a journey for me. And I also appreciate people around me who pushed me. I think I've gotten a good push from, I would say good people around me who kept saying, it's enough that you keep sitting quiet and you have a lot that you can share. So I got challenged. I got challenged by the environment that I was in, but I also had a desire to do it. It's just that I kept thinking, maybe it's not my space.
Yeah.
So I had to get to a point of deciding, you know what, you're going to share what you have. Touch someone's life, you never know who it is. Yes. Yeah.
And kudos to that leader that pushed you. Yeah. And may they get their flowers in this lifetime. I think it points to people that are in positions of influence that it's important to identify your team members, identify those ones that are super introverted, super quiet, but have something to say. It's been my experience as well. Working with introverted people, it's been my experience to see that often you have to draw them out, and often they have the answer. It's very rare that you'll find you pick out someone and they don't have the answer. So that tells you they are just editing themselves, like you're saying. So I think that it's to pay it forward, like to the leader that supported you or the leaders that have supported you. I am hoping that you have been paying it forward with your teams and identifying those ones that will not naturally speak.
I do.
You do.
I do. I really appreciate that, I have come this far because of somebody who went out of their way. And so it's intentional for me, for my team, that every person I work with, I have decided to be a mentor.
Yeah.
And to coach, especially girls, because I know mostly the voices of women get, shattered and silenced. So it's intentional for me to mentor and to call out and to support, not just to call out, but also to support.
To support. Among the ones that you've supported and mentored, which ones have you found are easiest to mentor and support?
I would say...
What combination of character? Is this those ones that seek you? Is it those ones that already know who they are and what they want?
The ones that know who they are, of course, it's very easy because they come to you with, directly saying, I want to get to this level. How do I get it? But I've also noted that we have a lot of vulnerable women out there who, because of maybe experiences in life that put them down, they think it's the end of life. And I really identify with them a lot. And so I have taken that initiative to want to be there for them, to remind them that it's not all done and you still have something beautiful in you. And it doesn't mean that you got shattered in life, it's the end.
Yeah.
You still can rise, you can arise again, you can dream again. Yes, I really love that bit where, very many women are going through that, the feeling of we are not good enough because this happened. Maybe you got pregnant at an early age and so that shattered your life. But I love that space of letting them know that you can dream again. Yes, and whatever is in you is still in you. You can bring it out, but they lack the opportunity. So that's one of the areas that I really enjoy supporting women who have, had setbacks in their lives. Yeah.
Okay. To the woman that would love to get a mentor and they don't know how to go about it. Yeah. And maybe they are an introvert as well. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that, one, they should know that we have many women who are looking to mentor others. Yeah. And nowadays, through social media, you'll find this is possible. I have... I would say, like, if I look back, like last year, I've come across very many women who have reached out when they see some of the programs that we are running. Even, in our current work, they say, how can I plug in? I would want to support someone. I would want to mentor someone. Just like 2 days ago, somebody reached out to me and said, I saw one time you were supporting women, teenage moms. I would want to be a mentor. We have very many people who are willing to mentor. So I think today, other than, compared to earlier days, we have very many people who are willing, maybe because of their experiences and they feel like they want to pay it forward. Yeah. So that's available. Yes.
Okay. What I'm hearing you say and what I'm hearing, the person watching should take away is that mentorship opportunities are there. And, it's just to seek. What's the worst thing that can happen is to be told a no. But often those opportunities are there. Mentors are seeking people to mentor, while mentees, on the other hand, are thinking that those people are not there. So I think it's within whatever area you find yourself, look out and ask. If you find a person that you'd like to emulate, or you're seeing they have value that they can add to your life, reach out to them. Reach out in person or even on social media, or chat them out and find out if they can be able to mentor you. What would you say is you would tell such a person if they were given an opportunity to be mentored? I mean, one of the challenges that I find, let me just reframe that. One of the challenges that I find with mentees is not being respectful of the time of the mentor. You know, like if you're seeking a mentor most mentors will be busy. You know, they'll have busy schedules.
Yeah.
They'll have busy calendars. So if you agree on a time with your mentor, one of my pet peeves is don't agree on a time and not show up without giving a notice or a reason why, or not put in the work that you've agreed that the person should do. Yeah. What's a pet peeve of yours with the mentees?
One is that it's your call. Go the mile, go the extra mile. Like if I'm a mentor, it's discouraging to see that you're the one pushing the person to be mentored. So I think the interest should come from you because, as you've mentioned, most of these mentors are busy. So they don't want you to waste their time. So show the interest, put in the time, put in the extra work of finding information if you need to. And I think that is encouraging for the mentor. And I also want to say that many times it's not just the benefit of the mentee. The mentors also get to benefit from this interaction. Like also add value to this relationship. It's not one way.
Yeah.
It should be both ways, because it doesn't mean because I have experience I can't learn anything from you. There's a lot to learn. So it's a mutual relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And also you are giving back. Yeah. And I think every human being inherently has that need to give back and to leave a legacy. So paying forward is one way that enables the mentor to be able to play that out, right? Yes. So as we come to a conclusion of our episode today, what I've heard Beatrice say is that if you're finding yourself being quiet in rooms where you know what to say, but you just don't want to say it, you're afraid to say it, it's normal to experience that. But what she has said is start challenging yourself, speaking up, and start small. It doesn't have to be in the boardroom. It can be in your small circle of friends. It can be among your family, where you want to say this is not going the way it should go, and where you dip down, know that things are not going the way that they should go. Start small and challenge. And as you challenge one decision after another, you'll find yourself confident to challenge even decisions in the boardroom. And often, that voice that you have is often right. As Beatrice has told us, it's been proven over and over that many times when she voiced the things that she knew needed to be said, it ended up being a positive for the businesses and the organizations that she worked for. So thank you. If that resonated with you, do subscribe to our socials. All of them are Rewired with Rose across the different socials. Tell us on the comment section which among the things that our guest talked about today resonated the most with you. Thank you.